Let's talk about the obsession economy. And journalism in the UK is beginning to look like stalking. So something strange is happening in UK media. And at this point, it's beyond satire. A columnist, I'm not going to name check her, a columnist from The Fail boarded a long haul flight to California, walked into a small bookshop in Montecito, and wrote an entire piece about Meghan Sussex's pop up display as if it were breaking news. Not geopolitics, not economics, a bookshelf. These dispatches from Montecito have become a recurring theme from the same writer, turning California into some sort of emotional pilgrimage site for people who claim to dislike Meghan, but somehow they spend more time monitoring her movements than her actual neighbours. This isn't journalism anymore, in my opinion. It's manufactured proximity dressed up as commentary, a kind of obsession economy where fixation itself is paying the bills because the real story is not Meghan, it's the media ecosystem that relies on her. Every time this columnist flies over the Atlantic to peer into a shop window, the absurdity becomes clearer. Meghan's critics need her far more than she needs them. The clicks say it, the front pages say it, the frantic opinion pieces say it. Without Meghan, some parts of the British press will definitely be out of work or stuck reviewing supermarket Christmas sandwiches. And the funniest part is that even their attempts to insult her actually ends up boosting her profile because they publicize her products, her shops, her displays, and they are continually amplifying her brand because they don't even think, because they're trying to diminish her, and yet they end up amplifying her brand. It's accidental PR at its best, as far as I'm concerned. But beneath all that comedy lies something very uncomfortable. Because when a writer repeatedly travels to the neighborhood of someone they're obsessing over, they're detailing their haunts and they're encouraging readers to imagine themselves doing the same, the energy shifts. It stops feeling like coverage and it starts to feel like surveillance, which it is. And California has laws about that sort of thing, which locals have been very quick to point out. The double standard is striking too. The same outlets that spend every waking moment talking about Meghan become curiously silent when the conversation turns on to the leftover royals who are actually funded by the UK taxpayers. The scrutiny becomes selective, the outrage becomes performative. Meghan, who pays for her own life, is treated like public utility. Meanwhile, the publicly funded royals, they get treated like delicate china who must not be critiqued or handled too loudly. It exposes something deeper, as far as I'm concerned. This is not about morality, journalism, or public interest. It's about sales. It's about the fact that Meghan remains the most bankable name the most bankable name, not main, the most bankable name in British media. Even when the coverage is unhinged, her name brings the clicks. Especially when it's unhinged, her name brings more clicks. These people say they can't stand her. They tell us every day how much they hate her. And yet they publish more about her than the people who actually admire her. They call her irrelevant while placing her on the front pages every single day. They claim not to follow her life. Meanwhile, they are following her onto another continent. The irony writes itself. But what remains though is that there's a question that no newsroom can answer for me, and that is, if you removed Meghan from the press cycle tomorrow, what would be left for you to report on? What would you print? Who would you stalk? Who would you blame for declining readership? Why would you fly halfway round the world to glare at her? There is something profoundly sad and disturbing about journalists who once held power to expose wrongdoing, now reduced to photographing jam jars in a bookshop. The quality of news is declining at such an alarming rate, and that is why readership is declining. But anyway, my opinion is not important. I want to know what you think. Comments, please. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me.